You're a game dev. You must have so many games like this, right? Sure, I guess I do.
Later that day.
Okay, let's look at one of my old games. Okay, so it's been a while since I've made a 3D game, as my main focus recently has been on 2D games. This would have to change, so I started using my massive brain to think of some ideas.
This is big brain time.
But then I realised, maybe I should just go back to basics. Movement is one of the most simple things you can do, except it's one of the hardest to get right. So this made me think, what is the perfect movement system? Well, this can vary a lot depending on the game, but for the game I want to make, it should be fast and reactive. From the intro you can probably tell that Timefall 2 was probably one of my main inspirations. Well, you are right, as it's probably one of the best movement systems I've ever seen and makes me bricked every time I see it. Okay, I think it's time for me to stop yapping and let's just get on to it. The first thing I done was whip out Unity. First things first, I made a little pill man and made him a home, if you can call it a home. Cause you know, who else are you gonna control? Like an actual good player model? Who the hell is gonna make that? Okay, so what movement mechanics am I gonna make in this game? Well, obviously I need basic things like camera movement, just basic movement like jump. But in order to make it fast, I need a slide and a wall run, as these will make the game perfect. Technically I could also add a grapple hook, but I feel like that would kind of just ruin it. So anyway, I went straight to making some basic movement. I can't lie, at the moment it's feeling extremely slow, but you know, this is going to require a lot of tweaking. Or I could just murder the pill guy's family, as that's some good motivation. Anyway, the motivation seemed to have helped, but it seems like he's wearing some ice skates, as this movement is feeling really slidey at the moment. This is a simple fix though, as it's just to do with the drag. All I need to do is check when it's on the ground, and then apply more drag. Okay, so basic movement is done. The next thing I need is now a jump. And I guess it is working, but at the moment it feels really bad and is nowhere near perfect. I guess I'll just count it as done for now. Okay, so the next thing I needed to add was a slide. No, not that kind of slide, like slide in, you know? Once again, this was very simple. All it done was reduce drag and reduce the size of the character. I say this, but by the end I end up changing everything I've made so far. Well, not really a full change, more just some tweaks. But it does make it feel a lot different at the end. Okay, so now are some of the main things I've done. An actual challenge comes ahead. Basically, moving on slopes works a lot different to flat surfaces. At the moment, you just move horizontal, but this causes the player to bounce like your mum. Instead, it needs to move parallel to the slope. This uses a lot of mathematical stuff that I don't really understand, but you know, I just do it anyway. But now it just works properly, so it's all good. I don't have to understand it, as long as it works. Now I've pretty much got everything except one thing, which is wall running, but I don't actually have any walls to run on, as I need to create a level for that first, so that is what I'm going to do. Except this will probably be one of the biggest headaches I've ever had in my life. As you can probably tell, I'm not very good at level design or just graphics alone. So when I was making these levels, they would look absolute trash and they would take me so long to make. Like one of my biggest inspirations for this was Crab Game. This is because the art style was so good, even though it was so simple. But like, I couldn't get it at the time. I don't understand why. I experimented with different textures, different post-processing settings. I created so many different levels, but nothing would work. Just look at this. This makes Roblox look like Red Dead Redemption. I guess it's time to start fresh. Okay, so I made a new scene. This time though, I'd work hard on the post-processing and use more simple materials, as I think they were the reason everything looked bad, as they stuck out. But now it was starting to come together, like I was actually having fun for a bit. Have you ever just walked into a wall and managed to get stuck onto it mid-air? Well, in-game of course, but this was what I was trying to figure out how to fix. I went searching through the internet on every Unity forum and I found out that there's this thing called friction, and yeah, I just turned down the friction and you know, it just works. If you don't understand, it's a bit like how me and your mum... Okay, I'm sorry, I promise I'll stop saying your mum, I'm sorry. Okay, moving on. At this point I realised that I added sliding, but I didn't add crouching. That sounds stupid, I know, but like, you can only slide. So basically now, if you're not sprinting, you can just crouch. Also, it pushes you down, as when you reduce in size, it doesn't like reduce downwards, if you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Who cares if you don't know what I mean, right? Shut up. Sorry about the rudeness, but I think I outdid myself, as it started to push you down a bit too much, so it'd be the weight of your mum. I'm sorry, my mic cut out. I said monkey. Yeah. But anyway, I got that fixed, of course. And now it's working perfectly fine. Okay, so here comes a fun part, which is wall running. At first, I didn't really know how I would do this. But all it really is it checks if there's a wall on your left or on your right. And then you just go forwards, basically. That's basically it. There's also like the jump off wall mechanic, but that comes later. Alright, first is wall run. You may be thinking, Pencil, this is going to take you a year to make because you're trash. Well, you're wrong, because it actually worked really quickly somehow. So I guess I'm already at the part where I do the wall jump. And I suppose the wall jump was working, but like it was working a bit too much, if you know what I mean. This isn't really a big deal though, as all it is just tweaking the speeds. Anyway, you know when you wall run in games, like your camera tilts? That is what I'm going to add, because it makes it so like you actually know you're wall running. Because at the moment it just feels like you're just running mid-air, basically. That's basically how it feels. Unfortunately, when it comes to rotation, my mind goes blank, as all I could really get it to do was like just snap into place. Technically it works though at the moment. I will get to fixing that later though. It will be smooth, trust me, and it will be really smooth, I promise. Now that things are slightly working, I'm going to make the environment look a bit better. All I did was add an orange material, what actually did look quite nice, to be honest. I also added these dedicated wall running walls. Why is that so hard to say? The hell? You can still wall run on everything except the blue walls though, so you've still got that freedom. Okay, so now it's time to address the camera tilt. Whew, I still have nightmares to this day. This was very difficult, but the thing is, I knew how to do it, it's just I was being an idiot. I basically got it right the first time, but then it didn't work because I coded it wrong. Then I started searching the internet to find out how to fix this. Then it came full circle back to my original code, and all I had to do was change that one line. Well, I mean, at least it's working now, and my god, it makes it feel so much better. Okay, so now all my pain and suffering is gone, it was time to organize. Something I really wanted to add was a main menu. And I'll confess, I've never made a settings menu ever in my life, so that is something I aim to do. Anyway, so I did some stuff and it's a menu, I guess. Okay, but does it actually function? Well, of course not. Yeah, perfect. This has never happened to me before, and there were two reasons why this happened. First of all, I apparently needed an event system. I have no idea what this is, but you know, it made it work. Also, the fat title was blocking the button. Like, what? What? Anyway, enough of that. It now works. Thank God. Anyway, as I said before, I've never made a settings menu, so that is exactly what I wanted to do. I can't lie, this was actually pretty enjoyable, as unlike the other stuff, it wasn't really that stressful. I just want to say, there isn't many, like, actual settings in the settings, right? But, like, it doesn't matter, right? It's only me playing it at the moment, so shut your mouth. And trust me, the settings 100% works. Okay, so the settings is fully complete. What's next? Well, I noticed the sky literally had 0 clouds and it kind of looked a bit, it didn't look right. So I added this nice looking skybox to make it feel a bit better. Going back to the settings menu, I realised it's kind of hard to test because I have to just keep reloading the game every time. So I quickly slapped together this pause menu so I can go back to the main menu whenever I wanted. Technically I could have added the settings menu into the pause menu, but you know, I can't be bothered, alright? I cannot be bothered. That settings menu was too much work, alright? So, no, none of that. I'm sorry I keep bringing up the settings menu, but there's also this keybind setting which does not work at the moment. And for some reason this was really irritating me. I just wanted it to work, because I just want to know how to do it. Unfortunately, I have to download the new input system to be able to do this. And I just want to say, this may have been the worst time of my life. I'm definitely not exaggerating. Like, I took one look at it, and I pretty much deleted it straight after. The thing is, this kept bothering me, so I had to install it again. I really don't know why they had to make it so complicated, but I eventually got it working to how it was before. Also, thank God they have samples in like the package manager. So all the rebinding code was done for me. There are two problems with it still. Like, you can use the escape key as a keybind, that's probably not the best idea. Also, you can have the same key for multiple keybinds. So at the moment, that's not really that big of a problem because, you know, I just won't do that. So there's no need. This was pretty much the last thing I'd done, except I did make another map, but to be honest, it's pretty bad, so I'm not gonna probably add it just yet. But if this video does good, I might make a part 2 to this, because I actually love this game. Well, I actually had fun playing my own game. I think I've never actually experienced that before. Also, if it does well, maybe I'll turn this into a multiplayer game. I think that would be really fun. But anyways, up to you. Just like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.